Rejected by my mate, claimed by the alpha. A Luna's Romance, audiobook's original story. Opening hello, my lovely listeners. This is Luna, and welcome back to Luna's Romance audiobooks, where destiny always finds a way, even when it seems impossible. Today's story is one that'll make your heart ache and soar all at once. It's about betrayal and second chances, about finding strength in heartbreak, and discovering that sometimes the mate bond gets it wrong the first time. So fate sends you someone better. This is Rejected by My Mate, claimed by the alpha. So settle in, grab your favorite drink, and let me tell you about a woman who lost everything and gained a kingdom. Let's begin. Prologue. The rejection felt like dying. I, Marcus Steele of the Crescent Moon Pack, reject you, Aria Monroe, as my mate. The words hit me like physical blows, each one shattering another piece of my soul. The mate bond, that golden thread I'd cherished for 3 years, snapped with an audible crack that only I could hear. I fell to my knees in the center of the pack hall, surrounded by wolves who'd once called me family. Now they just stared, some pitying, most relieved. Marcus stood above me, his handsome face twisted with disgust. Beside him, her hand possessively on his arm, stood my sister, Emma. Beautiful, perfect Emma with her sleek blonde hair and her beta blood and her cruel smile. "I'm sorry, Aria," Marcus said, though his voice held no remorse. "But you have to understand. Emma can give me strong heirs. You're just Omega. The pack deserves better than a weak Luna." Weak. The word echoed in my head as pain radiated through every nerve. The bond dying, my wolf howling in agony, my heart cracking into pieces too small to ever put back together. "Please," I whispered. "Marcus, please. Don't beg." Emma's voice was sweet poison. "It's embarrassing. You knew this was coming. Why else would he have been sneaking into my bed for the past 6 months? 6 months. While I'd been planning our mating ceremony, choosing flowers and writing vows, he'd been with her. My sister, my mate, my whole world, gone." "Get out," Marcus said coldly. "You have until dawn to leave Packlands. If you're still here when the sun rises, you'll be treated as a rogue." I looked around the hall desperately, searching for someone, anyone, who'd defend me. My father stared at the floor. My mother wouldn't meet my eyes. The pack members I'd grown up with turned away. No one spoke. No one helped. I was alone. So I ran. I ran from the pack hall, from the territory, from everything I'd ever known. The rejection wound burned like acid in my chest, and every step took me further from home. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't care. I just knew I couldn't stay. Behind me, I heard Emma's laughter ringing through the night, bright and victorious. And ahead of me, somewhere in the darkness, my new life was waiting. I just had to survive long enough to find it. Chapter 1, 3 months later. The diner smelled like grease and coffee and the desperate dreams of people who had nowhere else to go. I fit right in. "Order up!" Sam, the cook, rang the bell for the 3rd time. "Aria, you sleeping back there?" "Coming!" I grabbed the plates, 2 burgers, 1 with extra onions, and carried them to table 6. The truckers barely glanced at me as I set down their food. I'd gotten good at being invisible, at making myself small and forgettable. It was the only way to survive as a lone Omega in neutral territory. "Coffee?" I asked, my voice carefully neutral. "Yeah." The bigger trucker pushed his cup toward me without looking up from his phone. I poured, collected their dirty plates, and retreated to the kitchen. This was my life now. 12-hour shifts at Sam's roadside diner, sleeping in a tiny room above a laundromat, scraping by on tips and prayers. It wasn't much, but it was mine. "You okay, kid?" Sam appeared beside me, his weathered face creased with concern. He was human, one of the few who knew what I was and didn't care. "You look pale." "I'm fine." The lie came easily. I'd been saying it for 3 months. Ever since the rejection. Ever since my whole world ended. "You're working yourself to death." Sam pulled the coffee pot from my hands. "Take a break. Eat something." I'm not hungry. Bullshit. When's the last time you had a real meal? I couldn't remember. Food tasted like ash these days. Everything did. The bell above the diner door chimed, announcing new customers. I glanced up automatically, and froze. 3 wolves walked in, their power rolling off them in waves that made every instinct I had scream danger. But it was the one in the center who stole my breath. He was massive, easily 6.5 feet of pure muscle wrapped in an expensive black suit that somehow made him look even more dangerous. Dark hair swept back from a face that could have been carved from granite, all sharp angles and harsh beauty. And his eyes. Golden. Pure, molten gold that seemed to glow in the diner's fluorescent lighting. An alpha. Not just any alpha. A powerful one. Maybe even, holy hell, Sam breathed beside me. Is that? Alpha Cade Blackthorn, I whispered. Everyone knew the name. Alpha of the Shadow Ridge Pack, one of the largest and most powerful in the territory. Ruthless in business, deadly in battle, and notoriously unmated despite being 32 years old. What was he doing in a roadside diner in the middle of nowhere? His golden eyes swept the room and landed directly on me. The world stopped. Heat exploded through my body, my wolf surging to the surface for the first time since the rejection. She'd been silent for months, broken and grieving. Now she was awake. And she was howling one word. Mate. No. No, no, no. I'd already had a mate. Already been rejected. The bond was dead. My wolf was damaged. I couldn't... Cade's nostrils flared. His eyes widened slightly. He felt it too. Fuck, I breathed. Language, Sam said absently, but he was staring at the alpha with the same fascination everyone else was. Cade walked toward me. No, stalked, like a predator zeroing in on prey, his guards flanking him. I should run, should hide, should do anything except stand there frozen like a deer in headlights. But I couldn't move. He stopped directly in front of me, so close I could smell him, pine and smoke and winter storms, intoxicating and terrifying all at once. You, he said, his voice a deep rumble that vibrated through my bones. What's your name? Arya. My voice came out barely above a whisper. Arya. He said it like he was tasting it. You're Omega. It wasn't a question, but I nodded anyway, his jaw clenched. And unmated. Yes. The lie of omission burned, but what else could I say? That I'd been rejected? That I was broken, damaged goods? One of his guards leaned in, whispering something. Cade's expression darkened. You're from Crescent Moon Pack, he said flatly. My blood turned to ice. How did you... Your scent carries traces of their territory. Faint, but present. His golden eyes bored into mine. Why did you leave? The rejection wound throbbed in my chest. It's complicated. Uncomplicate it. The command in his voice made my wolf whimper, part submission, part desperate longing. She wanted to obey him, to please him. I hated it. I don't owe you an explanation, I said, forcing steel into my voice. Something flickered in his eyes. Surprise? Respect. No, he agreed. You don't. But I'm asking anyway. Why? The word came out sharper than I intended. What do you want from me? His gaze intensified. Right now? Information? You worked at Crescent Moon's pack house, correct? I blinked at the subject change. Yes. How do you know that? I make it my business to know things. He gestured to the empty booth in the corner. Sit. We need to talk. I'm working. Sam? Cade's voice carried across the diner. The Omega gets a break. Paid. I'll cover any lost wages. Sure thing, Alpha, Sam called back, practically tripping over himself. Traitor. Cade's hand came up to my elbow, gentle but firm. The touch sent electricity racing up my arm. Please, he said quietly. 5 minutes. I should refuse. Should tell this powerful Alpha to go to hell and leave me alone. But my wolf was purring at his touch, and part of me, the part that had been alone and scared for 3 months, desperately wanted to say yes. 5 minutes, I agreed. We sat in the corner booth, his guards taking position by the door. Up close, Cade was even more intimidating and more beautiful. Sharp cheekbones, a strong jaw, lips that looked cruel until they softened slightly at the corners. "You left Crescent Moon 3 months ago," he said without preamble, right after their beta's daughter was announced as the future Luna. The words were a knife to the gut. "I see you've done your homework." "I always do." He leaned back, studying me. "What I don't understand is why an Omega who'd spent her whole life in that pack suddenly disappeared overnight. No warning, no explanation. Maybe I wanted a change of scenery? Or maybe," his voice dropped lower, "you were running from something, or someone." I looked away, unable to hold his penetrating gaze. "I need information about Crescent Moon Pack," Cade said. "Specifically about their Alpha's business dealings. I've heard rumors of illegal activity, smuggling, possibly worse. You worked in the pack house. You would have seen things." My mind raced. Marcus's father, Alpha Steel, had always been careful about his dealings. But I had seen things, overheard conversations, noticed shipments that came in the dead of night. "Why do you care?" I asked. "Because I'm responsible for maintaining order in this territory. If Crescent Moon is breaking laws, I need to know." His golden eyes locked on mine. "Help me, Arya." "And what do I get in return?" A slow smile curved his lips. "What do you want?" "Everything. Nothing. A time machine to go back and never meet Marcus." "Protection," I heard myself say. "If I help you, Alpha Steel will know I talked. He'll come after me. He won't touch you." The promise in Cade's voice was absolute. "You'll have the full protection of Shadow Ridge Pack. My personal protection." The offer was tempting. Too tempting. "Why?" I asked. "Why would you do that for me? You don't even know me." His expression shifted, something heated entering his eyes. "Don't I?" The mate bond pulsed between us, undeniable. "No," I said firmly. "Whatever you think you're feeling, it's not real. I can't be your mate. I'm broken, Alpha. Damaged. You should find someone else." "I don't want someone else." His hand reached across the table, covering mine. "I want you." The touch seared through me, my wolf practically singing with joy. But my heart, my shattered, rejection-scarred heart, remembered the pain. "You don't know what you're saying," I whispered. I can't. Arya." He squeezed my hand gently. "I know you're running from something. I know you're hurt. But I also know what I feel when I look at you. And I know I'm not walking away." Tears burned behind my eyes. "You should. Too late." His smile was soft and devastating. "Now, will you help me? Will you let me help you?" I looked into those golden eyes and saw determination, strength, and something that looked dangerously like tenderness. I should say no. Should protect myself, my broken heart, my damaged wolf. But I was so tired of being alone. "Okay," I whispered. "I'll help you." His smile could have lit the whole diner. "Thank you." "But," I pulled my hand back, "this doesn't mean anything. I can't." "One step at a time," he said gently. "For now, just trust me." "Can you do that?" I didn't trust anyone anymore, but looking at him, I wanted to try. "Maybe," I admitted. "I'll take it." He stood, pulling a card from his pocket. "My private number. Call me tonight. We'll set up a time to talk properly about what you know." I took the card, my fingers brushing his. Sparks. "Oh, and Arya?" He paused at the door, his guards waiting. "Quit this job. I'm hiring you as a consultant for Shadow Ridge Pack. The pay is better, the hours are reasonable, and you won't have to serve truckers who don't say please." What? You can't just..." "I can, and I am." His grin was pure mischief. "Call me tonight. We'll discuss the details." Then he was gone, leaving me sitting in the booth with his card in my hand, and my world turned upside down. Again. "So," Sam appeared at my elbow. "That was interesting." "That's one word for it," I muttered. "The Alpha of Shadow Ridge Pack just offered you a job, kid. That's huge." "Or insane. I can't work for him, Sam. I can't." "Why not?" Sam's eyes were kind. "Look, I don't know what you're running from, but that man just offered you safety, money, and a chance to stop looking over your shoulder. Why would you say no?" "Because he's my mate. Because I can't survive another rejection. Because I'm terrified." "It's complicated," I said instead. "Life usually is." Sam patted my shoulder. "But sometimes, kid, you gotta take the leap anyway. What's the worst that could happen?" I could fall in love with him, and when he realizes how broken I am, he could destroy me even worse than Marcus did. But I didn't say that. Just tucked the card in my pocket and went back to work. The rest of my shift passed in a blur. I poured coffee, served food, and tried not to think about golden eyes and impossible offers. When I finally made it back to my tiny room, I sat on the bed and pulled out Cade's card. Just one call. Just to tell him no, I couldn't help him, couldn't work for him, couldn't risk my heart again. My fingers dialed before I could talk myself out of it. He answered on the first ring. "Arya." His voice was warm, pleased. "I was hoping you'd call." "I can't work for you," I said without preamble. Silence. Then, "Why not?" "Because you're my—" I caught myself. "Because it's not a good idea. Find someone else to help you with Crescent Moon. There is no one else. You're the only Omega who's escaped that pack in years, the only one who'll talk. Why do you care so much about what Alpha Steel is doing?" "Because 3 months ago, right around the time you left, a shipment of Wolf's Bane went missing from a medical facility in my territory. I have reason to believe Crescent Moon was involved. Wolf's Bane, poisonous to werewolves, deadly in large doses." "What would they want with Wolf's Bane?" I asked. "That's what I need to find out." His voice was grim. "Will you help me, Arya? Please?" The please got me, and Alpha didn't say please, didn't ask, they commanded. But Cade was asking. "I need time to think," I said. "Take all the time you need. But Arya?" "Yes?" "Whatever happened to you at Crescent Moon, whoever hurt you, I swear they'll never touch you again. You have my word." The promise wrapped around me like armor. "I'll call you tomorrow," I whispered. "I'll be waiting." I hung up and sat in the darkness, my hand pressed to my chest where the old mate bond used to live. Cade Blackthorn was my second chance mate. The question was, did I have the courage to take it? Chapter 2. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, my mind racing through memories I'd tried so hard to bury. Marcus's face when he rejected me. Emma's triumphant smile. The pack turning their backs as I fell apart. Every memory was a fresh wound, proof that trusting the mate bond led to devastation. But then I thought about Cade's eyes. The way he'd looked at me, not with disgust or pity, but with hunger, respect, something that looked like wonder. Could it be real? Could the goddess really give me a second chance after the first one destroyed me? My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Can't sleep either. "K." My heart stuttered. How did he know? Another text. "I can feel you through the bond. Your restlessness. Your fear. I wish I could take it away." I stared at the words, my chest tight. Me. How is this possible? I was already mated, already rejected. The bond should be dead. Cade. Rejection wounds the bond, but it doesn't always destroy it completely, especially if the rejection wasn't accepted. My fingers froze over the keyboard. Cade, did you accept Marcus's rejection, Arya? I thought back to that night, to Marcus standing over me, demanding I repeat the words of acceptance. I'd refused, had run instead, unable to speak the words that would sever us completely. Me. No. I never accepted it. Cade. Then the bond is damaged, but not dead. Your wolf is still waiting for her true mate. Me. And you think that's you? Cade. I know it is. The question is whether you'll let yourself believe it. I set the phone down, my hands shaking. Could it be true? Could Cade actually be my real mate? And Marcus just a mistake? The goddess's way of testing me before sending me someone worthy? The phone buzzed again. Cade. Meet me tomorrow. Let me show you Shadow Ridge. Let me prove I'm nothing like him. Me. You don't know what he was like. Cade. I know he was a fool. Anyone who'd reject you doesn't deserve the title of mate. Tears slipped down my cheeks. Me. Why do you care? You just met me. Cade. Because when I walked into that diner and saw you, everything clicked into place. Like I'd been searching my whole life without knowing what I was looking for. And there you were, serving coffee with sad eyes and a smile that didn't reach your face. I knew then, you're mine, and I protect what's mine. My wolf was howling, begging me to say yes, to run to him, to claim what the goddess was offering. But my heart whispered, what if he hurts you too? Me. I need time. Cade, take it. I'll wait. But Arya? Me. Yes? Cade, I'm not giving up, ever. You're my mate, and I'm going to prove I deserve you. I clutched the phone to my chest and let myself cry. For what I'd lost. For what I might be too broken to accept. For the beautiful Alpha who seemed determined to save me from myself. Tomorrow, I'd have to decide. Run again. Or stay and fight for a second chance at happiness. The next morning I called Cade. I'll come to Shadow Ridge, I said, before I could lose my nerve. One day, that's all I'm promising. I'll take it. The relief in his voice was palpable. I'll send a car. No, I'll drive myself. I need an escape route. Silence. Then, okay, whatever makes you feel safe. The fact that he understood, that he didn't push, made my chest ache. Text me the address, I said. Already done. Arya? Yes? Thank you for giving me a chance. I hung up before I could respond. The drive to Shadow Ridge took 2 hours through winding mountain roads. The territory was stunning, dense forests giving way to rolling meadows, a crystal-clear river cutting through the valley. And the pack house. It wasn't a house. It was a mansion. No, a small palace. Stone and timber and glass, built into the mountainside like it had grown there naturally. Beautiful, powerful, intimidating. Like its Alpha. Guards stopped me at the gate, but when I gave my name, they waved me through immediately. Cade was waiting on the front steps. In the daylight, he was devastating. Black jeans and a dark green Henley that showed off shoulders broad enough to carry the world. His dark hair was slightly messy, like he'd been running his hands through it. And those eyes, golden and intense and fixed solely on me. You came, he said, smiling. I said I would. I wasn't sure you'd actually follow through. He descended the steps, stopping just close enough that I could feel his warmth. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I still might leave. Then I better make sure you have reasons to stay. He offered his arm. Tour? I hesitated, then took it. The contact sent sparks racing through me. His scent wrapped around me, pine and smoke and something uniquely him. And my wolf purred in contentment. Home, she whispered. Not yet, I told her firmly. Cade showed me everything. The pack house with its massive common areas and state-of-the-art kitchen. The training grounds where wolves sparred in both human and wolf form. The school for pack children. The medical center. The library that looked like something from a fairy tale. We have about 300 pack members, he explained as we walked through gardens that would have made professional landscapers weep. Most live on territory. We're self-sustaining, grow our own food, generate our own power. My father believed in pack independence. He sounds wise. He was. Cade's expression softened. He died 5 years ago. Heart attack. Sudden. I'm sorry. Me too. He guided me to a bench overlooking the valley. He would have liked you. He didn't even know me. He would have liked your strength. The fact that you survived something that would have broken most wolves. Cade turned to face me. Tell me about the rejection. I flinched. Please. I need to understand what happened. What he did to you. The words stuck in my throat. But Cade's golden eyes were patient, kind, not demanding, just waiting. So I told him. About Marcus and the 3 years we'd spent together. How I'd loved him completely, stupidly, with my whole heart. How I'd planned our future down to the smallest detail. About Emma. My younger sister who'd always been jealous, always wanted what I had. About the night Marcus called a pack meeting and rejected me in front of everyone. How he'd chosen her, beautiful, beta-blooded Emma, over me. He said I was too weak to be Luna, I whispered. That Omega blood wasn't good enough for his heirs, that I'd embarrass the pack. Cade's hands had clenched into fists. His scent had turned sharp with barely controlled rage. He's a fucking idiot, he growled. He was my mate. No, Cade's voice was absolute. He was a pretender, a false bond that the goddess allowed to form to test you, to prepare you for something better. How can you know that? Because I feel what we have. He took my hands, his touch gentle despite the anger still radiating from him. And it's nothing like what you described. Real mates don't tear each other down, Arya. They build each other up. You barely know me? Then let me know you. He pulled me closer. Stay. Work with me. Help me take down whatever illegal operation Crescent Moon is running. And let me show you what a real mate looks like. I should say no. Should protect myself. But looking into his eyes, I saw something I hadn't seen in months. Hope. Okay, I whispered. His smile was brilliant. Yeah? Yes, I'll stay. I'll help you. I took a shaky breath, but I can't promise anything beyond that. My heart. It's still broken, Cade. I don't know if I can... He pressed a finger to my lips. One day at a time. That's all I ask. Okay. Now come on. He stood, pulling me up with him. I want to show you your new office. And your quarters, if you'll accept them. No pressure. You can stay in pack housing or off territory if you prefer. But I'd sleep better knowing you were close. You just want to keep an eye on me. Absolutely. His grin was unrepentant. Your precious cargo, Arya. I'm not taking any chances. As we walked back to the pack house, his hand warm in mine, I felt something I hadn't felt in 3 months. Safe. Maybe, just maybe, this could work. Maybe the goddess hadn't abandoned me after all. Maybe she'd just been preparing me for this. For him. Chapter 3. My quarters in the pack house were ridiculous. A full suite with a bedroom, sitting room, private bathroom, and a balcony that overlooked the valley. The furniture was elegant but comfortable, the colors soothing creams and soft blues. It was 10 times nicer than anywhere I'd ever lived. It's too much, I protested as Cade showed me around. It's perfect. He leaned against the doorframe, watching me explore. And it's 3 doors down from my room, so I can hear if you need anything. I spun to face him. You're 3 doors away? Too close? His expression was carefully neutral. I can arrange other accommodations. No. The word came out too fast. No, it's fine. More than fine, my wolf purred. Close to mate. Safe. Cade's smile was knowing. Good. Now, I have a pack meeting in an hour, but afterward I thought we could have dinner. Just us. You can tell me everything you remember about Crescent Moon's operations. Mixing business with pleasure, Alpha? Always. His eyes heated. Is that a problem? Yes. No. Maybe. I'll meet you for dinner, I said instead. After he left, I sank onto the bed and tried to process everything. 24 hours ago, I was serving coffee in a diner, barely surviving. Now I was in a palace, working for an alpha who claimed I was his mate. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number made my blood run cold. I know where you are. M. Marcus. My hands shook as I read it again. Another text. Did you really think you could hide from me? You're still mine, Arya, rejection or not, and I'm coming to get you. Terror flooded through me. I should tell Cade, should ask for help. But shame held me back. What if he thought I was weak? What if this proved Marcus right? That I was too pathetic to protect myself? Another text. Tell your new alpha that stolen property should be returned. You belong to Crescent Moon. To me. My phone clattered to the floor. I wasn't property, wasn't his. He'd rejected me, thrown me away like garbage. But fear whispered, what if he's right? What if you can never escape him? A knock at the door made me jump. Arya, Cade's voice concerned. Are you all right? I felt your fear through the bond. Shit. I opened the door to find him standing there, his golden eyes sharp with worry and something darker. Protective. Possessive. What happened? He demanded. Nothing, His gaze dropped to my phone on the floor. In 2 strides, he crossed the room and picked it up. His expression went deadly cold as he read the messages. Cade, he threatened you. His voice was quiet, terrifying. Your ex-mate threatened you. It's nothing. He's just what? Cade's eyes blazed gold. Just harassing you? Just making you afraid in what's supposed to be your safe space? He looked at me, and I saw the alpha in full force. This ends now. What are you going to do? What I should have done the moment I learned about the rejection. He pulled out his own phone. I'm calling Alpha Steel, making it very clear that his son is to have 0 contact with you, or there will be consequences. No, Cade, please, that'll just make it worse. Worse than you being terrified in your own room? He cupped my face gently, despite the fury radiating from him. Arya, I told you I'd protect you. That includes from your past. He was my mate. He was, past tense. He rejected you, gave up any claim to you. Cade's thumbs stroked my cheeks. Now you're mine, and I don't share. The possessiveness should have annoyed me. Instead, my wolf practically melted. I don't need you to fight my battles, I said weakly. Too bad. I'm fighting them anyway. He pressed a kiss to my forehead. Stay here. I'll be back in an hour. Cade, but he was already gone, phone to his ear, his voice dropping into alpha command mode as he stalked down the hallway. I sank onto the bed, my heart racing. This was going to end badly. Marcus wouldn't take well to being threatened, and Alpha Steel hated being challenged. But a small, broken part of me thrilled at the thought of Cade defending me, of someone finally choosing me, protecting me, treating me like I mattered, like I was worth fighting for. Cade returned exactly 1 hour later, his expression grim but satisfied. It's handled, he said. What did you say? I informed Alpha Steel that you're under Shadow Ridge pack protection, that any contact from his son or pack members will be considered a declaration of war. He sat beside me on the bed. Marcus won't bother you again. You don't know that. He's a coward who picks on those weaker than him. Cade's voice was flat. Trust me, when faced with actual consequences, he'll back down. I wanted to believe him. What if he doesn't? Then I'll deal with it. Cade took my hand. Arya, I know you're used to fighting alone, but you don't have to anymore. Let me help. Let me protect you. Why? The question burst out. Why do you care so much? We just met. You don't owe me anything. I owe you everything. His golden eyes were intense. You're my mate, my other half, the one I've been waiting 32 years to find. He brought my hand to his lips. I know you're scared. I know he hurt you. But I swear on everything I am, I will never, ever hurt you the way he did. Tears burned behind my eyes. You can't promise that. Yes, I can, because I'd rather die than cause you pain. He pulled me into his arms, and I let him, sinking into his warmth. Give me a chance, Arya. Let me earn your trust. I don't know how to trust anymore, I whispered against his chest. Then I'll teach you. His hand stroked through my hair. One day at a time, remember? We sat like that for a long moment, his arms around me, his scent surrounding me, the mate bond purring with contentment between us. It felt right. It felt safe. It felt like home. Maybe, just maybe, I could do this. A sharp knock interrupted the moment. Alpha! One of Cade's guards stood in the doorway, his expression urgent. We have a situation. Crescent Moon wolves at the border. They're demanding to speak with you. Cade's arms tightened around me. How many? 6, including Marcus Steele. My blood turned to ice. He came here? I pulled back, panic rising. Cade, you can't let him see me. Please. He won't touch you. Cade's voice was steel wrapped in velvet. Stay here. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone except me. What are you going to do? Have a conversation. His smile was all teeth. One that Marcus will remember for a very long time. He kissed my forehead, then left with his guard. I paced the room, my heart hammering. Through the windows, I could see figures gathering near the border gates. Even from this distance, I recognized Marcus's tall form, his arrogant stance. My phone buzzed. Emma. You can't hide behind another alpha forever, sister. Marcus wants you back, and what Marcus wants, he gets. My stomach churned. Another text. He realized his mistake. He wants to complete the bond properly. You should be grateful. Grateful? For 3 months of hell? For public humiliation? For being abandoned when I needed him most? I texted back, tell Marcus I'd rather die than go back to him. Emma's response was immediate. You don't mean that. You're just confused. Once you remember how good we were together, we were never together. He cheated on me with you. He rejected me. I owe him nothing. I blocked her number, then Marcus's for good measure. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. A soft knock at the door made me jump. Arya, it's me. Cade's voice. Can I come in? I unlocked the door. He slipped inside, his expression dark. What happened? I asked. Marcus claimed you ran away from Crescent Moon without permission, that you stole pack property, money apparently, and that he has every right to bring you back for punishment. Horror washed through me. That's a lie. I know. Cade's hands framed my face. I told him the truth was obvious, that you left because he rejected you, and that any Omega has the right to leave a pack that doesn't want her. What did he say? Cade's jaw clenched. He denied the rejection, said you were spreading lies to avoid consequences for theft. White-hot rage flooded through me. He's lying. I know, which is why I gave him a choice. Leave now and never contact you again. Or I drag him before the council and force him to admit the rejection publicly. The council, the governing body that oversaw all packs in the region. If Marcus was forced to admit rejection before them, it would destroy his reputation. Make him look weak. He'll never agree to that, I said. He already did, reluctantly. Cade smiled grimly. Turns out he's more interested in protecting his image than in actually getting you back. The theft charges are dropped. You're free, Arya. Free. The word hung in the air, almost too beautiful to believe. He's really gone? I whispered. Really gone. And if he ever comes near you again, I'll tear him apart myself. Cade pulled me close. You're safe now. I promise. I buried my face in his chest and finally let myself cry. Not from pain, but from relief. Chapter 4. The next 2 weeks passed in a blur of normalcy I'd almost forgotten existed. I worked with Cade, sharing everything I remembered about Crescent Moon's operations, the late-night shipments, the locked rooms in the pack house basement, the visitors who came and went without explanation. The wolf's bane theft was just the beginning. Alpha Steel was running a trafficking operation, selling black market goods across pack territories, using his connections to avoid detection. Cade gathered evidence, built a case, prepared to bring it before the council, and through it all he was there, patient, kind, slowly breaking down the walls I'd built around my heart. He'd bring me coffee in the morning, remembering exactly how I liked it. He'd check in throughout the day, making sure I was comfortable, safe, happy. He'd have dinner with me every night, asking about my day, sharing stories about the pack. Never pushing, never demanding, just present. "You're staring," I said one evening as we sat on the terrace after dinner. "Can you blame me?" His golden eyes were warm in the sunset light. "You're beautiful." I ducked my head, heat flooding my cheeks. "Stop." "Never." He shifted closer, his thigh pressing against mine. "I like making you blush. Cade, Arya." His hand found mine. "Can I ask you something?" My heart stuttered. "Okay. The rejection wound. Does it still hurt?" I considered lying, but he deserved honesty. "Sometimes, when I think about it too much, it's like an ache that won't quite heal. What if I told you there's a way to heal it? Completely?" I looked at him sharply. "How?" "By completing our mate bond. The new bond would overwrite the old one, heal the damage." His thumb stroked over my knuckles. "But only if you're ready. Only if you want it." Want? Such a simple word for such a complicated feeling. Did I want Cade? Yes. Desperately. Was I terrified of being hurt again? Also yes. "I don't know if I can," I admitted. "Every time I think about bonding, about trusting someone that completely, I remember Marcus's face when I'm not him." Cade's voice was gentle but firm. "I know you've heard that before. But let me prove it. Let me court you properly, the way you should have been courted the first time." "Court me?" "Yes. Dates, gifts, romance." His smile was boyish and heartbreaking. "Let me show you what you mean to me." My wolf was howling with joy. My heart whispered maybe. "Okay," I breathed. "Yeah?" His whole face lit up. "Yes. Court me, Cade Blackthorn. Show me what a real mate looks like." He kissed me then, soft and sweet and full of promise. The mate bond flared between us, warm and golden and right. When we parted, I was breathless. "First date tomorrow night," he said. "Wear something comfortable." "Where are we going?" "That's a surprise." He stood, pressing one more kiss to my forehead. "Sleep well, mate." As he left, I touched my lips, still tingling from his kiss. Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could trust again. Maybe the goddess had sent me exactly what I needed, when I needed it most. The next evening, Cade picked me up at my door wearing jeans and a leather jacket that made him look like every dangerous fantasy I'd ever had. "Ready?" he asked. "You still won't tell me where we're going?" "Nope, but I promise you'll like it." He drove us deep into Shadow Ridge territory, to a meadow I'd never seen. Wildflowers bloomed in riotous colors, and in the center, he'd set up a blanket with a picnic basket. "You made me a picnic?" I asked, my chest tight. "Well, the pack chef made the food, but I picked the location." He helped me sit. "I wanted somewhere beautiful, somewhere just for us." It was perfect. We ate cheese and bread and strawberries, talking about everything and nothing. He told me about growing up as alpha in training, the pressure and responsibility. I told him about my childhood dreams, the ones I'd abandoned when I thought I'd be Marcus's Luna. "What did you want to be?" Cade asked. "Before everything?" "A healer." The admission felt like releasing a secret I'd kept too long. I wanted to study medicine, help the pack that way, but Marcus said it was inappropriate for a future Luna to work outside the pack house. Cade's expression darkened. "He tried to make you smaller." "He succeeded." I looked at my hands. I gave up everything for him. My dreams, my independence, my sense of self. I thought that's what love was supposed to be. Sacrifice. That's not love. That's control. Cade took my hand. Love is supposed to make you bigger, Arya. Stronger. More yourself, not less. Is that what you want? For me to be more? I want you to be happy, whatever that looks like. He shifted closer. If you want to train as a healer, I'll fund your education. If you want to work in the pack, great. If you want to do something else entirely, I'll support that too. Your dreams matter, Arya. You matter. Tears spilled down my cheeks. No one had ever said that to me before. No one had ever made me feel like I was enough, just as I was. Hey, Cade wiped my tears gently. What's wrong? Nothing. Everything. I launched myself at him, kissing him hard. He caught me, his arms banding around me as he kissed me back. The mate bond exploded between us, heat and need, and something deeper. Love? Oh, goddess, I was falling in love with him. When we finally pulled apart, we were both breathing hard. Arya, he groaned, you're killing me. Good, I kissed him again. I want... A howl split the night. Cade was on his feet instantly, his body shifting into protective mode. That's the alarm. Border breach. More howls joined the first. Stay here, Cade commanded. Not a chance. I stood. If the pack is in danger, then I need you safe. His eyes were wild with fear. For me. Please, Arya. I can't focus if I'm worried about you. Another howl, closer this time. Then a voice I recognized cut through the night. Arya, I know you're here. Come out and face me, you coward. Marcus. Cade's entire body went rigid. That fucking... He broke the agreement, I said numbly. He came anyway. He signed his own death warrant. Cade's voice was murder. Stay behind me! We walked to the edge of the meadow where Marcus stood with a dozen crescent moon wolves. His eyes found me, and his lip curled. There you are, hiding behind your new alpha like the weak little Omega you've always been. She's not hiding, Cade growled. She's being protected. There's a difference. Protected from what? Her mate? Marcus laughed. I'm here to collect what's mine. I'm not yours! The words burst from me. You rejected me, remember? In front of the entire pack. You chose my sister over me. You lost any claim to me that night. I made a mistake. Marcus stepped forward. Cade stepped in front of me, blocking him. I realize that now. We can fix this, Arya. Come home. Be my Luna, like you were supposed to be. No. What? I said no, Marcus. I'd rather die than go back to you. You destroyed me. You humiliated me. You threw me away like garbage. My voice strengthened. But I'm not garbage. I'm not weak. And I'm not yours. His face twisted with rage. You think this alpha wants you? Look at you. Damaged, broken, used. He'll get bored eventually, and when he does, you'll come crawling back. Try me, Cade said softly, dangerously. Insult my mate one more time. See what happens. Your mate? Marcus scoffed. She's my... Cade moved faster than I could track, his fist connecting with Marcus's jaw. The crack echoed through the meadow. Marcus went down hard. The Crescent Moon wolves snarled, moving forward. But Shadow Ridge wolves emerged from the trees surrounding them, outnumbered 3-1. Cade stood over Marcus, his eyes pure gold. Alpha power rolled off him in waves. You had your chance to leave peacefully. You chose violence. Cade's voice carried the weight of absolute authority. By law, you've committed an act of war against Shadow Ridge Pack. I could kill you right now, and the council would call it justified. Marcus spat blood. You wouldn't dare. Try me. Cade smiled sharp and cold. But I'm feeling generous. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to go back to Crescent Moon. You're going to tell everyone, including your father, that Arya is under my permanent protection. That she's my mate, recognized and claimed. He pulled me forward, his arm around my waist, And if you ever come near her again, I won't just kill you. I'll destroy your pack. I'll burn Crescent Moon to the ground and salt the earth so nothing ever grows there again. Cade's voice dropped to a lethal whisper. Do we understand each other? Marcus looked between us, his face a mask of impotent rage. Yes, he finally spat. Good. Now get out of my territory before I change my mind. The Crescent Moon wolves fled. I was shaking so hard I could barely stand. Cade turned to me, his expression softening immediately. Are you all right? I stood up to him. Wonder filled my voice. I actually stood up to him. You were magnificent. Cade cupped my face. I'm so fucking proud of you. Then I was crying, and he was holding me, and the weight I'd been carrying for 3 months finally lifted. Marcus was gone. I was free, and I had a mate who'd go to war for me. Chapter 5. The council hearing was set for 2 weeks later. Cade had gathered enough evidence to bring formal charges against Alpha Steel for trafficking and illegal weapons trade. The Wolf's Bane theft was just the tip of the iceberg. But the night before we were supposed to leave for the council seat, everything went wrong. I was in my room, packing, when the lights went out. All of them. The entire pack house plunged into darkness. Then the screaming started. I ran to the door, yanking it open. Wolves raced through the hallways, their scents sharp with fear and aggression. Arya! Cade's voice from somewhere in the chaos. Stay in your room! But I couldn't. Something was wrong. Horribly wrong. I followed the sounds of fighting to the main hall, where Emma stood in the center, surrounded by Crescent Moon wolves, and in her hand a vial of wolfsbane glowed sickly green. Hello, sister, she purred. Miss me? What are you doing here? I demanded. Taking back what you stole. She gestured to her wolves. Marcus might have been too weak to do this properly, but I'm not. You belong to Crescent Moon, and you're coming home. The hell she is. Cade appeared at my side, blood on his knuckles. You're trespassing, Beta. Leave now or face the consequences. Consequences? Emma laughed. You mean like these? She threw the vial. It shattered at Cade's feet, wolfsbane vapor exploding outward. He went down with a roar of pain, his body convulsing. Cade! I dropped beside him trying to help, but the wolfsbane was in the air, burning my lungs. Such a touching display. Emma grabbed my hair, yanking me up. But it's time to go, sister. Father has plans for you. Punishment for embarrassing our pack. Let her go. Cade tried to rise, but the wolfsbane had him pinned. Or what? You'll kill me? Emma's smile was vicious. Try it. But know that if I die, my wolves have orders to pour every drop of wolfsbane we brought directly down your throat. You'll be dead in minutes. She was insane. Completely insane. Why are you doing this? I asked. You got what you wanted. You got Marcus. Marcus is a fool who can't stop whining about you. Her grip on my hair tightened. Do you know how exhausting it is? Hearing him go on and on about his perfect Arya, his mistake, his regret. I'm tired of being second choice. So, this is about jealousy? This is about putting you in your place. She dragged me toward the door. You're going to come back to Crescent Moon. You're going to publicly apologize for your lies about Marcus. And then you're going to accept a chosen mate father picks for you. Someone weak, someone beneath you. So everyone knows exactly what worthless Omega trash is worth. Rage flooded through me. I'd been scared before. Been broken. Been defeated. But I wasn't that Arya anymore. I was Cade's mate. I was strong. And I was done being a victim. I drove my elbow into Emma's ribs, hard. She gasped, her grip loosening. I spun, grabbing the knife from her belt and holding it to her throat. Tell your wolves to back off, I said calmly. Now. Emma's eyes widened. You wouldn't try me. You just threatened my mate. What do you think I'm capable of? The Crescent Moon wolves hesitated, looking to Emma for orders. Stand down, she spat. They lowered their weapons. Shadow Ridge wolves poured into the hall, surrounding the intruders. Cade climbed to his feet, still unsteady from the wolfsbane, but alive. His eyes met mine, filled with pride and fury and love. "Arya," he said softly, "let her go. She tried to kill you. I know, and she'll face justice for it." He moved to my side. "But you're better than her. Better than all of them. Don't let her turn you into something you're not." I looked at Emma's terrified face, the knife still at her throat. He was right. I lowered the weapon. "Take them to the cells. All of them." As the guards dragged Emma away, she screamed curses at me, promising revenge. I didn't care. I turned to Cade, checking him for injuries. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine, thanks to you." He pulled me into his arms. "You saved me." "You've saved me plenty of times. Figured I'd return the favor." He laughed, the sound rough with emotion. "My fierce little Omega. I knew you were strong." "I'm not little." He kissed me, deep and claiming and perfect. When we parted, the pack was watching, smiling. "Guess they approve," I murmured. "They'd be fools not to." Cade's forehead rested against mine. "You're amazing, Arya. And you're mine." "Yours," I agreed. "If you'll have me. Forever." He kissed me again. "Starting with completing our bond. Tonight, if you're ready." Was I ready? I looked into his golden eyes and saw my future. Saw safety, love, partnership. Saw home. "I'm ready," I whispered. Chapter 6. Cade carried me to his chambers, larger than mine, dominated by a massive bed and floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the valley. "Are you sure?" he asked, setting me down gently. "After everything tonight?" "I'm sure." I reached up, pulling him down for a kiss. "I want this. I want you. I want us." His control shattered. The mating was fierce and tender, passionate and sweet. When his teeth sank into my neck, marking me as his, the old rejection wound finally healed. The bond completed. Perfect. Whole. Right. Afterward, we lay tangled together, the mate bond singing between us. "I love you," Cade murmured against my hair. The words should have terrified me. Instead, they felt like coming home. "I love you too," I whispered back. He pulled me closer, and I felt it. The bond, fully formed now, connecting us in ways that went beyond physical. I could feel his emotions, his love, his protectiveness, his absolute certainty that we belonged together. "The council hearing is tomorrow," he said. "Are you ready?" "With you beside me, I'm ready for anything." Chapter 7. The council chamber was exactly as intimidating as I'd imagined. 12 council members sat in a semicircle, their combined power making the air heavy. Alpha Steel sat across from us, his expression smug, until Cade presented the evidence. Photos of illegal shipments, financial records, testimony from wolves who'd been forced to participate, and Emma's confession, given in exchange for a reduced sentence, detailing everything. The trafficking, the wolfsbane theft, the plan to kidnap me and force me to lie to the council. Alpha Steel's face went gray. "These charges are serious," the head council member said. "Alpha Steel, how do you respond?" "This is a conspiracy," Steel roared. "That Omega seduced my son, then spread lies when he chose her sister instead." "I have proof of the rejection," Cade interrupted calmly. He played a recording, Marcus's voice, clear as day, rejecting me in front of the pack. The council members' expressions hardened. "You allowed your son to reject his true mate," one said, "then tried to force her back to cover up your crimes. She's just an Omega,